Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and it's a brand new week. I'm still not here, but I thought today will be challenge week. We're going to look at some builds we haven't actually done in some time as well. As you can see, I've had a quick move around here because today I'm going to be doing the Mike Lane provided IXO Collections Porsche 911 Carrera. So, I mean, look at the instructions for this book, and obviously this is a full kit, so I'm just working my way through this kit. I've already done two sort of sessions on this already. I'm doing them slightly with a difference, which I'll explain in a minute, but you can get this through Mike Lane. Mike Lane does full kit boxes from some of the IXO collections as well. So, as you can see, I've got the Porsche behind me. If you follow the link and also the QR code, you'll see all the builds I'm doing on the channel, but there's also specifically a build to Mike Lane there as well for all the models that you can get from him. Now, the way I'm doing this build is I'm basically giving myself an hour's worth of time of build, and that's what I edit. So you know that in whatever you see today has taken me an hour, and I believe we're starting from stage 10 today. The time at the moment is 7:15 in the morning, so we're going to work through to 8:15. Let's jump into it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So 8:15 I'm going to get this done. As you see, we had been creating the engine. I think that's where we finished last time. And remember, all the screws are provided because it is a full kit. But this is the instructions. So I need to go to where we were, which was stage 10, I believe. Here we go. So look, I folded it over to show you exactly where we got to. I don't remember doing that. I was going to say I don't remember doing that. The reason I don't remember doing that is because we haven't done that. This is pack 10 here. So we're going to be doing the pump assembly here, putting all of this stuff here together just like this. Just like that there. And then we're adding this to what we've created there. And that's what we're going to be doing in stage 10. Okay. So here we go. Here's all the parts here that I've got in stage 10. Now, I am in the luxury position now of being able to store this properly in a storage box. I didn't actually have any storage boxes free before because of all the other builds, but now I do. So I can actually store this now. First thing we got is this gear here, which is going to go in here and it's going to be held in with an AP screw. It's going to just take my bearings to actually figure out where they all are. Mrs. Welder Wayne kindly put them in there for me, but some screws, there's just far too many, so I kept them in the bag. So the AP screw is one of the screws that are in this bag here. Now, when you do get screws all in one go, it is in your interest to keep your workstation and those screws tidy, because if they open up, you're going to have a bad time. There we go, that's in place. Okay, so we need these two parts here now, which I'm guessing is part of the pump. We do have a locating lug in here to put these little, are they injectors or something? Connections in the top there. And once again, an AP screw from the underside to hold this in. So there we go. That one's going in there. Just pushing it down to stop that going anywhere, just while I tighten that up. Nice. And then we get to put the other side on here, which is going to house all of this together to make one unit. And again, an AP screw here to hold that together. Now you know why this big box was sitting behind me. Okay, coming along. So now we've got another gear to go on, and this one's actually going to be going on this side just here. And basically we want the indented side to be facing up, so that's going to be fitting on there just like that. Once again, an AP screw to hold that into place. I've realized we are doing a lot of detail work here, so I've just zoomed up my camera there. There we go, that's it. On top, just into this section here, I've got this cap, which I push in like that. Building this quite quickly, aren't we? And then on this side, I've got these. Is this the pump system, which is just going to be going on here like that? Now, this is held in with BP screws. BP screws are a lot tinier. So tiny, in fact, I am going to use my PH0 screwdriver on these. I'm also going to be putting my magnifying glasses on, because this is tiny. Okay, that's perfect. That's in position there. Now I've got a pipe coming out the side, which just goes in here. Doesn't need glue, it's really in tight, just like that. which means I've got these 3 items here left over. So we're going to be putting all of these into what we created here in the last pack. So on this side here, we're going to be placing what we just created the first time here. It's going to be held in with 2 screws just into these positions, and these are FM screws. And I'm going into metal, so that means I put them in oil. Everyone keeps saying, Wayne, what oil did you use? Well, I always used to use 3-in-1 oil. Over the years, I did find 3-in-1 oil a little bit too thick. So what I've been doing is using sewing machine oil. And that's a lot thinner. And it's a lot less messy. There we go. There's the other FM screw in there. Perfect. Okay, on top, on this section here, we're going to be putting this, what we created, which means when this goes in here, the pipe that we had is going to go into the hole next to it. So it's going to be sitting just like that. These are held in with AP screws from the other side. And as you can see, we need 2 of these. Quite a ingenious way to build the engine here, I have to say. I don't remember doing things like this on any other model. Because now we get to put the belt between these 2 pulley gears. That's what I'm calling them, pulley gears. Make sure it's not twisted. So then that's in just like that. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So we're on stage 11. It's now 7:26. And again, we've got the cylinder heads that we're going to be putting in. Looking just like this, building onto what we've just done there. Okay. And here is stage 11. All of these come in their own boxes, so we know where they are. It's like having a part work, but you get to decide how much you want to do in one time. Once again, they have provided one of these little tiny screwdrivers. I don't really use them because, as I said, if I need a small screwdriver, I just use my PH00. But the option's there. It's there for you if you want to use it. Okay. The first thing I want is this head cover, which hasn't got the tab on it. As you can see there, this is all complete. So what I want to do is having it this way round, probably best on the side camera. Let's zoom up this top camera a little bit as well. I'm going to be putting some little nipples. I'm going to call them nipples. I'm going to put some little nipples in place, and they're held in with BP screws. So I'm going to make sure I've got them as well. Now these BP screws are obviously the ones that we just used in the last stage, and they're the really tiny screws, which is why they gave us that screwdriver. Now they all need to be going off in this direction towards the end, which has got the biggest space. So we've got 3 to put in. What I tend to do with this is I'll put the screw in first, then I'll put the nipple in, and the reason I do it this way is to ensure that that screw is not going to go in bent. As you can see, that's 1 in. Let's put the other 2 in. You know what, I think the easiest way to do this is to actually just drop some glue in here, because they're so small it is hard to get them perfectly at that angle. So if you drop some glue in there, it's going to hold that in place for you to put the screw in. Now obviously I don't want these falling out, so what I'm going to do is I'll glue the ones in this one as well. Now this one is slightly different, that they are going off in different directions. So what I'll do, I'm just going to put some glue in here, and we're going to have one going off in this direction over here, and then the other 2 are facing it. So one there, and one here. So I'm trying to be meticulous to get them where they need to be. So now I can get a screw in there, knowing that that glue is going to hold that in place. Don't push too much on the screw. Let the screw pull the part towards you. Okay, they're all in. Perfect. Okay, let's bring over the engine again. And the one where they're all going in the same direction is going to go on this side, just like this. So the one that's actually in a different direction is closest to this pipe. There you go, they're in just like that. We're holding them in with EP screws from the other side. And these are flange screws. And they just go down the centres here. So One there, one on the other side. And then I've got these looking like spark plugs. They're probably injectors. I don't know what they are. Someone's going to tell me. Let's get some tweezers out. I need some tweezers to help me here to push these into place just like that. And that's what way round they go. We do that all the way around. Now, I don't think I'm going to need glue for this. They are quite tight going in there. But the tweezers do make short work of this. It's a very detailed engine, isn't it? Perfect. They're all in. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 12, we've got part of the engine frame now. We're putting this in just like that. And that's how that's going to look when it's finished. Here is stage 12. Obviously, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a mark on my head because I haven't taken off the goggles yet I'm wearing. Okay, what we're going to do now is turn this upside down. I'm going to be putting some of these brackets on each side. We need to make sure we put these in the right way. So this is going to be going in, let me figure this out, this way round, which is the left side, which then means this one is going in the right side just here. So I'm holding them in with BM screws. Again, these, I've got so many of them that these are in a bag. So each side takes 2 of these. You will find that when you put these in, there is a locating lug on here. It's going to help you get that all centered up properly. So they're in place. Excellent. All we're going to do then is along this edge, I've got this piece to put in, which is actually just going to be going over the top. And basically this is the cover for that belt as well, as you can see. And I'm guessing that's held in with the same screws. It is BM screws, just into the 2 positions here. Perfect. And with that in place, that's how the bottom should look. Which means in stage 13, and the time at the moment is now, we're 27 minutes in, so it's 7:41. We're going to be doing the engine frames. So putting this together just like this, adding this to what we've just done there. That's what we're going to do in this stage. And I've got all of those parts here. Okay, so I want this way round with the holes facing up, and I've got a bracket here that I'm going to need to put on. Now the bracket actually goes on, let me get this right, this way. So it's going to sit just on top like that, but it's held in with AP screws. Again, these are my bag screws. Obviously, this build is mostly any screw that's in a bag is the screw that we're using the most of. And you probably would have noticed there where my screws keep falling off my screwdriver. Even the best screwdrivers in the world lose their magnetism now and again. So I am going to just remagnetize the tip up here. This is what I've got, this wearer thing. This is available through Mike Lane as well. You've got a positive side and a negative side. I'm just going to be putting it on here. As a matter of fact, this one, I thought that was, they're both positive. Normally you have a different polarity one. But just rub it like that. Spin it round. There you go, that's fully magnetized. And now hopefully they won't fall off the end as easy, as you can see. Think about my channel, I'm using these screwdrivers every single day. They do last big time. Okay, that's in place. Okay, having this way round, this is going to be going into the lugs here and on the other side here. So just push them into position. So now that is how that should look. And now we're ready to put this onto this part of the engine frame. I am supporting this from the bottom because I don't want to go crushing any of these pin heads here. It's actually going to be going in this way. So I'll put that on top just to give you an idea of how this looks. Just like that. Now there is 2 locating lugs in here. So if I just clip them into place on both sides, as you can see, it's going to keep it lined up for us so we can put some BM screws in here. Once again, it's 2 BM screws each side. And that's going to leave this part here left over. But with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. So moving swiftly on, this is where things are going to get a little bit fiddly, I think. Look, we're going to build the carburetor, and look how many parts we've got in here. That's a lot. Building all of this up, just like that. So I am going to take my time over here. We've got linkages and everything. And this is covering a few pages as well, as you can see. Wow. I wonder how long this is actually going to take. So I'm saying 6 pages there, just to do that. They do look good though. Okay. So this is stage 14 we're on. And we're starting stage 14 at 7:47. I can see this is going to take forever. Okay. Now the first carburetor I want is the right one, the one that's stamped with an R. And I've got these little, I think they're cable holders to put into place. And I have to say they're different from the pictures. The pictures have got sort of like a an indent to push the cables in. These have actually got a place where we'd thread the cables through. I'm guessing that's probably the better idea, because if you thread the cables through, they're not going to fall out. I'm using my smaller screwdriver for this, because these are tiny. So basically we do have this way round, and this does go in here just like that, but it is held in from the other side here. So I'm just getting my screw through to screw that in, and when it's in, I will just straighten that up a touch. That is how it should look. It is different from the pictures, because as I said, these brackets are different. I'll do the rest of these. So it's going to go in that side there. Again, a little tap of glue could be your friend here, I reckon, to keep these into place where they need to be. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Holds it so I can get this screw in. So that one's done there. Now we're only making one at a time by the look of it. So next thing to do is I need one of these connectors here, and I'm going to be putting some of these in. Now it's the larger holes that we're connecting to this, and they are 2 different size holes. You can see how fiddly this is going to get. Okay, BP screw. Now this is going to be hard because you can't use glue on this, because we do need this to be able to turn. So let's thread the screw through here, then I'll offer this side to this. We need one on each side. Perfect, so they're both in. Just leave that to one side now, because I need to put this sort of like boomerang looking thing on. Now there are 2 kinds. We've got a smaller one and we've got a bigger one. It's the bigger one we need, which is going to be held in with a BP screw onto this little point just here. Perfect. Let's just get that to go out there. I'm not over tightening this stuff here. Now on the other side we've got another little detail to put in, which looks like a little kidney. I can see this taking up all of my time doing this, because this is really detailed. I don't want to get this wrong though. If I break something on here, I'm going to regret it. Okay, that's in. And now with the linkages that we just created, we're going to be putting some other sections into this. So let's get this right. It's then that I realise I have put these in the wrong way. Isn't that typical? Ugh. So it's the smaller holes we use, not the bigger. It's in the picture, they both look the same. So in my defence, I couldn't really avoid that. Just flipping it over now. But I leave my mistakes in, especially on builds like this. But the pictures do show these holes exactly the same size. So I just took a wild guess, and unfortunately I was wrong. Okay, so we've got it in the right way now. So we're going to be taking this one just here with the longer shaft on it. And that's going to go through the top just like that. And then we're going to have one with a smaller shaft on it and a ball joint at one end, which is going to go on top. So once I've got this in and push this all the way down, I will show you how this looks. There you go. That is how that should look. Very detailed, isn't it? Okay, so we've done one side. It's looking like we're now in a position to put this on here. So So I'm just looking at the picture to make sure they match the picture. They do match the picture. And I want to lay them out kind of like that. Look on the top camera here. Just like that. Because I'm going to be putting this into position on here. So the way this goes is the shorter one goes in this side. The middle one goes here. The other one goes on this side just here. I'm just going to push them through. Get that one in. So it should fit in just like that. Very good. Okay, so we've made one. What we've done on one side, we've got to do on the other side. And I don't have the luxury now of doing an edit and making it look like no time's passed. Because unfortunately, as I said, we are on a clock. It's now 8:02. We've got like 13 minutes left. So I can't see us doing any more of this afterwards. So I'm just going to put these in here. And again, screwing them from the other side here. Be good if we can get the carburetors done, that's for sure, because this is definitely a fiddly stage. Although I'm being very presumptuous to say getting them done, because to be honest with you, it's probably a lot more to do on these. Okay, so there's the cable tidies in. Just going to straighten them out. Perfect. This one's slightly different. What we're going to do is we're going to be putting that kidney section in again, which is in a BP screw. So as you can see, that's in there. And then we're going to be making another linkage. So we want this really big ball joint one here, which is actually going to be going into this bracket. So this goes into the bracket. Let's get it right. This way round. And it's going to be held in once again with a BP screw from this side. I already had my screw in there then to get this in. But as you can see, that is now going in. Nice. So that's how that looks. Now on the other end of this, I've got this little clip, which is going to go into the bottom, once again held in with a BP screw. If you pre-screw the holes, it's not so bad. But there you go, that's that one in there. Okay, so once again, in this side, we've got the shaft going down here for this part of the linkage. Get that all the way through. And then, once again, I've got the ball joint going on this side for the smaller one, making sure that's pushed all the way down as well. And we're going to be putting this into place on the other carburetor now. So it basically goes in here, and they basically, it's only these two which are into that carburetor. That's how different that looks. Now I do have another part I've got to put in this, which again has a locating lug on it. And it's going to go into this hole just here. You're not going to need glue, that goes in really tight there. Then I've got this linkage here which goes on top of this that I've just put in, just like that. And then I'm guessing we're going to be putting the other side of this linkage in here. And it should come out the other side, so I can put this linkage at the bottom in here, like this. Perfect, so that fits in there. And then it's got lined up so I can actually put an FP screw just in here. God, this was hard. This was a really hard stage. And it's 8:10, so we're pretty much going to leave it here at the moment. Now, when I edit this down, it's probably not going to be so bad. But the FP screw, when we put this through, goes into the hole just at the back here as well. So I'm trying to line up everything in here. It is fiddly. Right, hang on. It's probably best to put the screw through these two sides here first and then pull it down. We'll do that and then get that in there. Perfect. And there you go. That's that one in as well. That was really hard. But both of those carburetors are done. That's all there is to do at that stage. And that's all I'm going to do for today. Because, and as you see, I told you I was going to have a mark on my head. That was difficult. So basically we did the base here. I don't know how many stages we did. Was that about 5 stages? And obviously we've done these 2 carburetors here. So at the moment we're this far into the book and we got that far to go. I didn't realise this build's so difficult, but the it's great because it's all in one box, as you can see there. Once again, you can get these through Mike Lane. He's got a plethora of full kits, so check out his site in the QR code there. Mike Lane also, just so you know, did provide some other details for this, but you can order these through Mike Lane. We've got the carpets and stuff. So when you buy your big scale models and stuff, you can actually get the mods with it as well. Now, I do stress Mike Lane did sponsor this channel, and he's actually sent me this to build to show you. So there you go. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.